is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
On today's episode, we're discussing Hearts Around the Table, Josh's third serving, which originally aired on the Hallmark Channel on Saturday, April 5th, and is currently available to watch streaming on Hallmark Plus. You can follow us as soon as the podcast is over, or even as you are listening to us. Click on over to Instagram, where we are Girls Gone Hallmark.
Hey, we have a Facebook group. It is called Girls Gone Hallmark. It is located in Facebook groups, and we have a fantastic collection of people there who really know their Hallmark news. Man, if I want breaking news, that's where I go.
That's the place to go.
Somebody has already, you know what? Even in fact, like when I feel like I have found some like new breaking Hallmark news and I go in there to share it, somebody already
broke
has.
it.
Yeah. So I'm just like, cool, guys, thanks. But I mean, that's fine. Like, I love it. I love it. So come and join us over there.
They scooped you.
It's okay. I'm not trying to be the, the Perez Hilton of Hallmark. So that's kind of a deep dive. I mean, does he exist anymore as like an entertainment, like,
did he
guy?
get canceled? I thought. I don't know.
I don't know.
Did you ever read, speaking of deep cuts, there was a entertainment website called pinkisthenewblog.com.
Ooh, no, never.
It was like gossipy, but I loved it. I loved it.
Like Hollywood entertainment gossipy?
Yes. But man, I'm trying to remember the details, but it would be like photos from events before, this is pre-Instagram, before like we had access to all of those things where they would be like, this person was at this restaurant and this person, that sort of.
Mm-hmm. Kind of that bridge between like Us Weekly magazine and Instagram.
Yeah.
It was like a blog.
Yeah, because it was more in real time. Like you weren't waiting for an Us Weekly to drop. It was like, this happened last night.
Well, I'm going to tell you from an SEO perspective, Pink is the New Blog is a terrible name.
We didn't know anything at the time. I'm just Googling to see. Oh,
it still exists.
Oh, well, it's a women's lifestyle website now. So I think it must have gotten.
As one does.
Is this? So the guy who created it, according to Wikipedia, best known for his celebrity gossip blog, Pink is the New Blog, which he launched in 2004.
Ooh.
Yeah, real deep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It shuttered in 2008. This is how old it was. It was hosted on Blogger.
Yeah.
So the current website is trent.blogspot.com. It appears that the website might still be there because, Blogger was free. Yeah. Interesting. Deep cut. Well, moving on.
Wow. Moving on.
Let's jump right into a synopsis of, I don't even know what this is called.
Hearts Around the Table.
Josh's third
serving. The synopsis is, when after-school programs see their funding cut, teachers Josh and Ella turn to fundraising before banding together in search of a larger donation, falling hard along the way.
Mike Jonas directed Hearts Around the Table, Josh's third serving. This is Mike's 17th directing credit and his first project for Hallmark Channel.
The script was written by Paula Tiberius, who also penned the first film in this collection, Jenna's First Love. With a total of 12 writing credits to her name, Paula's work also includes The Jane Mysteries, Murder at Mosby, and The Heiress and the Handyman, showcasing her talent for heartfelt storytelling and engaging mystery.
Jake Epstein stars once again as Josh, with 63 acting credits to his name. Jake's no stranger to Hallmark fans. He appeared in last year's Mistletoe Murders and starred in all 4 of the Unwrapping Christmas movies.
Stephanie Bennett stars as Ella. Stephanie has 46 acting credits with recent Hallmark appearances in His and Hers, Christmas Class Reunion, and a throwback to The 9 Kittens of Christmas. Millie Davis co-stars as Gina. Millie has 50 acting credits and has been seen in shows like The Umbrella Academy, Odd Squad, and the 2017 movie Wonder. She's also done a ton of voice work for animated series like Esme and Roy, Little People, and Doozers.
Doozers. Hey, let's take a quick break and we're going to come right back with our first impressions. Hey, Wendy, what is your first impression of Josh's third serving?
Well, okay, hear me out. I watched this entire movie in a low-key state of rage, and it wasn't because it was bad, but it was because I thought it was good, and it made me resent every minute I spent suffering watching the second one.
That's so interesting.
Because you hated it? You hated it, this one?
I didn't hate it. My first impression is this movie is giving me PTA flashbacks and not in a good way.
100%. The amount of times I'm watching this movie and I'm like, of course the arts are being whatever. I was getting really mad at the whole thing. So maybe I was just in a low-key rage with the storyline as well. I don't know.
So it's interesting that you say you really liked it. Can I preface our likes?
Oh. No. I didn't really
Okay.
I liked it.
Can I preface our likes segment with
Sure.
So I'm sitting down to write my notes, and my wishes, I'm good. My did you see that's, I'm good. My likes, I'm like, because here's what I think the problem is. I am faced with the feeling that this series really should have been 2 movies. I've seen all 4 movies at this point, and when I look at the full story, I think we would have better served these characters with 2 movies.
I agree.
My feeling about this movie is that it was fine. It was certainly more watchable than the second movie. There are some things that I really enjoyed about it, but I think we're trying, I think with all of the recurring characters and these movies airing week after week after week, as opposed to after an extended period of time, I just don't think there's enough there to make this 4 back-to-back full movies.
I agree. There's not enough meat. There's not enough content to the storytelling. Yeah, I agree. It should have been maybe 2 movies. And like you said, we have seen all 4 at this point. This collection of movies is really about Jenna.
Yep.
Right?
Yes. And that's what it really should have been, Jenna's story. And then great, we make it 2 movies and we have these interesting back characters. Look, I love Mindy Cohn. I love the idea that Jenna is a part of this foster family and they have this found family and they all are there for each other. And they all have other things happening outside of the family. But I love them as that central unit. That remains true in this movie. Mindy Cohn is the best character in the series.
Well, I agree with that. I think I wish I was a film writer. I'm not. So this is going to come out so clunky when I try to articulate it. But I think it would have been so much cooler if they would have taken, if the main over arc was about Mindy Cohen's Angie and the foster angle of it all. And then operate under that umbrella. Does that make sense?
No, I think it totally makes sense. I just think we're working with a system that requires a romance.
Yeah.
That is just the Hallmark formula. And as much as you and I are like, well, it doesn't always need it, the viewers expect it. That is the premise that Hallmark works under. We got a love story, or we have a mystery series to which we're building towards a love story.
Yep.
Those are the 2 premises under which we're working. So I don't disagree with you. I think that's perhaps a more interesting story, more compelling, because I loved the Angie character.
Me too.
But I don't think it's going to happen in this universe.
Unfortunately, I agree. Okay, so now do we want to get
yes,
into
please.
the likes? For me, I did think that this third movie was so much better than the second, Sherry's Next Act, which I just thought was pretty dreadful in comparison to 1 and 3. It's obvious now the writer was different for the second movie. So I felt like this movie was much more in line with tone of the first one. The second movie to me felt like out of left field.
Yeah, there were some things that didn't match up timeline wise, and they didn't flow for me in the second movie. Like I said, I think this movie is so much more watchable. And while there were parts of the plot that made me want to scream, it had a clear through line. Like we knew what was going on here.
Yeah.
I really like the addition of our new characters in this movie, the characters of Ella and Gina.
Me too.
You know, Millie Davis as Gina, I don't love, like, I know you're kind of like the resident child hater, but I don't always love like every child or teenage actor we get on these shows. And I thought she was great. I thought her character was very relatable as a teenager who's going through something. And she was kind of torn between like wanting answers about why things were so hard and also not wanting something that was going to make her different. I just thought she was real fun and real cute and real enjoyable on screen.
Well, in my defense, I enjoyed Gina as well. I know I am the resident child hater, but I like when teenagers are done nicely.
Yeah.
And I thought Gina was done nicely. And I think Rory's done nicely too, the other teenager who appeared more in the first movie.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot to do here.
No, but I liked Gina's storyline, especially. I liked that this movie tackled ADHD, which we never talk about these things, you know, those kind of things. Not that like ADHD is taboo or anything like that, but still, like, we don't really ever talk about that. And in a Hallmark movie, yeah, I liked her a lot. And what I especially liked is that we got another foster storyline.
Yeah.
Similar to Rory's in the first one. That makes sense that Angie would still be actively fostering children. She wouldn't just have these like 4 grown adults now.
Yeah, and
no one else.
I love that this doesn't really have anything to do with the movie, but I just love that she's fostering teenagers because I think teenagers are probably among the hardest group to place. I think taking in a teenager who's going to have, 14, 15, 16 years of backstory with them is perhaps in some ways a little more challenging. And so I like that we're putting her as like, no, I'm not fostering babies or little kids. Like I'm in the thick of it. And it's low drama in this Hallmark movie, but I like the message it sends.
Yeah, agree. What else did you like?
Speaking of new characters, I really like Stephanie Bennett as Ella.
She's great.
And I thought she and Jake Epstein had real cute chemistry on screen together. I liked them as a couple a lot. I just thought like their vibe was like fun and cute, and it was very like new romancy. And I thought I loved like that bit at the end where like they pretend to propose. I almost felt like it was a riff on Hallmark movies in general, especially actually with movies 2 and 4, which, spoiler alert, we get like kind of 2 unearned I love yous. So
Yep.
I really enjoyed her. I mean, also, spoiler alert, she's hardly in the next movie. I'm like, what are we doing here? She's so cute. Like, give me more of her.
I know. I was thinking while watching this movie and then putting my notes together, I was wondering, why hasn't she been like the lead? And I'm sure she probably has been a lead in a Hallmark movie, but maybe not like a standout Hallmark movie.
Yeah. No,
You
she
know?
should be. She could totally carry a movie.
She's so adorable.
Yeah.
And a great actor. Like, yeah, I loved her. I'm like, put her in more stuff. Speaking of fellow actors, I find myself drawn to Jake Epstein. I don't know why. It's something about his like goofy dad joke demeanor that I'm into.
He's just a cutie. Like, he's cute. He's not, there's something cute about him.
He's no Wowie Zowie Webster, but
He's not smoldering at you.
no, but I enjoy kind of like that comedic sort of, easygoing. Yeah, I'm into Jake Epstein.
Totally.
And I'm excited because I know he's in Mistletoe Murder. So he's not in like every episode, but I'm looking forward to seeing him in that. Which,
I think-
if you didn't know, we are reviewing Mistletoe Murders this summer. So yeah,
Surprise.
big announcement coming soon. Maybe today. Maybe I'll drop that today.
Yeah, it's mystery summer here on Girls Gone Hallmark.
Okay. Do I have anything else? My last two little notes. I think the character of Angie, and I know we already talked about her, but like, this is the best human to ever live.
I know.
She's like, oh, let me help with your fundraiser. I want to be involved. I'm like, you just don't get that kind of enthusiasm from people
Totally.
ever, especially when it comes to like school stuff, you know, as moms to teenagers in high school. Like
Yep.
everybody's checked out by high school age. Parents don't want to do anything, right?
Right.
No? No? Well, no.
100%.
So she's just a fabulous human. My last little like is I did enjoy Andrew's proposal to Jenna. It was simple and sweet. It was in a place of where she felt the most like love, you know, with her family. I thought it was sweet, even though a bit awkward and not really sure why this happened in Josh's movie, but whatever.
Well, I think it just goes to the fact that these movies are about Jenna. With the exception of movie 2, she is a main character in 3 of the 4 movies. And I mean, we'll talk about it next week, but yeah, Jenna is the vehicle. Like she's driving this bus.
I honestly, it kind of irritates me. They should have just, if they're not going to do the Foster angle, which I think they should have, I think they should have just made it like Jenna's whatever, and then like now meet my brother Josh. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or whatever. It's just, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like it's kind of a bait and switch
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, because in the first movie you get Jenna's story and you think we're going to dive into that level, and Jenna doesn't fade into the background, which is not to say that I wanted her to. Her story is interesting. I like Jenna and her partner, whose name I don't know.
Andrew.
Thank you. But yeah, this is the Jenna show.
It's the Jenna show. All right, let's talk about wishes, which I feel like we've talked about wishes this entire episode.
I know. It's true. Look, you know we got to go there. Let's talk about the fundraisers. I have a lot to say.
Go ahead.
Both as a former PTA mom and as a person who worked in nonprofit fundraising for several years of my life. First of all, raffling off a giant teddy bear, y'all, nobody wants that. Nobody's going to pay for that. What are you doing here? Like, what are we doing?
It needs to be big. It needs to be a week in Cabo, not a teddy bear that you can get at Dave & Buster's. No.
Nobody wants that. Also, somebody, I'm begging you, please explain to me how a book swap makes money. How does a book swap? You're swapping books, like for like. There's no money exchanged. They're
Yeah, that
not
doesn't
buying
make any
books. And finally, not finally, additionally, there are 1 bazillion people on a typical high school track team. Where the hell are they?
Right. He's like working with one student ever.
1 student is running, and like there's like 6 students out on the track during track practice. Y'all, the track teams are huge. There's multiple events. There's so many. You have JV and this movie suffered for lack of extras. Although I do have to say that the PTA meeting with like 8 people there did ring very true.
Oh yeah, those are the people that like barely, or those are the 8 who always consistently show up.
Yep.
and then you can't get any more involvement. Mm-hmm. Yep. My biggest wish is the storyline of there goes your extracurricular programs because we have no money feels a little tired. But what felt even more tired was the conflict between Josh and Ella, and they're like fighting between them about getting what they need. Yes. And her being like upset that Josh took her money and nope. I don't. It just is all too Hallmark on the nose.
Well, I'm especially annoyed that the solution to the problem is a millionaire who can fund things. Like,
which is not realistic.
Nobody has millionaires for their high schools that are like, oh, I just have $1 million projects every single year that I'm funding. What No. First of all,
let me tell you about our secret club of millionaires alumni. So far-fetched and dumb.
neither of these programs needs $1 million. What are we doing? Like, you didn't. Also, why did we not just get all the band parents in one weekend to clean out the room? They just sit in this stinky room. Like, when I was in high school, I went to a public high school, it is not a nice high school. Like, never was.
It was old when you went there.
It was old when I went there. My parents went to high school there. It was a high school, and my parents were like, that place was never nice. We had a day, PTA organized. It was called Dustbuster Day. It was a weekend. And they would have like families come in and like we cleaned things. They would be like, these are the areas we're cleaning or we're repainting or whatever. Get those families in there and be like, let's clear all this furniture out, scrub it down, throw away like, come on, what are we doing? You're just going to sit in this mess for the entire year waiting for someone with money to come along and do it for you?
Yeah. You know, you and I both went to public high school and in almost the same area.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was always like this busted down room that you got put in. There's always a classroom, right, that is falling apart.
Sure.
Or maybe has like rain damage or, you know, like it's not taken care of. And there's always some sort of like something happening in it. Like, oh, I got to go to the music room today. And it smells like musty old, you know, water damage. It just is what it is. I'm not surprised seeing it in this movie. I thought it was kind of funny. But you're right, though. Like, she should have organized the band parents to come and help.
Yes. Or the 9 billion foster siblings. Hey, can you come help me clean this room out? I mean, yes, you need to raise money, although it was kind of unclear to me what they needed money for. Like, she just kept talking about the state of the band room. And okay, yeah, a nicer space would be nice, but that's not what you need to run the program. And she kept like giving this speech. Sorry, I interrupted you, but she kept giving this speech about like the kids deserve a nice space. Okay, then give them one.
Well, now are you putting it on the teacher to figure it out?
I'm not putting it on the teacher.
Much?
Look, sure, probably it is too much. Like, okay, disclaimer, like former teacher here, my husband's a teacher. Like, I'm not blind to the plight of teachers, but I just think that there were things. You're right. She shouldn't have to handle all that herself. But while she's in the background running these fundraisers, perhaps some of her time could have been used a little bit more wisely.
Okay, question for you. On the flip side, what does Josh need money for the track team?
Well, this is what I don't understand. They're like, we're going to refurbish your track. And he's like, but we don't even need that. He did say they needed new uniforms.
Okay, fine.
But I was like, this guy's coming in with money that you don't even need. Like, your track looks perfectly fine. What?
Because there's no kids running on it. That's why.
The things like I was thinking about this too. I'm like, what do they actually need money for? Because they don't really talk about it. Like buses, like that's what a track program needs money for. That's expensive. Mm-hmm. You know, uniforms. But what else? Like, what are you paying for? Like, there's not a lot of supplies in track. Like, there's like a shot put, you know, but there's not a lot. There's not like balls and nets.
Those things you jump over, what are those called? Like
hurdles.
Like hurdles, yeah.
But how often do those need to be replaced?
I don't know.
I don't know. A lot of that was unclear. And also, please tell me this. Are track and music the only two extracurriculars at this school? Because they're like, we cut the extracurricular budget and now it's band and track. Gotta duke it out. And I was like, is there not a soccer team? Do we not have a drama club? Like, what is happening? That you got two extracurriculars, and that's why there's only 6 people on the track team, because apparently it's only 12 people at the school.
Yep. Here's my next wish. And I mentioned it before, I really liked Gina's storyline, but I do think it almost overshadowed the main storyline between Josh and Ella.
Yeah.
My takeaway is they should have made her the main storyline and Josh and Ella's and the fundraising the subplot.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed that storyline. I really enjoyed that actor, Millie Davis. I thought her story was fresh for Hallmark. So, missed opportunity.
Totally.
And you already mentioned, I have 2 more things. You already mentioned this one before, but Josh and Ella's relationship way too fast. The way I yelled, no, know when they said, I love you, I was like, get out. What is the time frame here? A whole 4 weeks, maybe? Get out of here. Get out of here.
Agree.
My final wish is I don't understand the title of this movie. What
Me
does
either.
Josh's third serving mean? Like, it makes no sense. I get the hearts around the table because they have their Sunday night suppers or whatever.
Yeah, but what doesn't make sense is the second movie is Sherry's second act.
I get that because
I know, but my point is they're trying to make it third serving but none of the other ones are like food related. They're like, I don't know, we can't make it work. Let's come back to the table. But the other, like Jenna's first love, I don't know. Josh's third lap would have made more sense.
Oh, it would have. That would have made. Yeah, I know that they have to put the word third to indicate the third movie, but serving doesn't work with it.
No,
Not at
agree.
all. So dumb. Do you have any other wishes?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Ready for Did You See That?
I am.
I have just a few.
Okay.
There's an inconsistent use of voiceover during texting in this movie. And in the first movie, I called out how nice it was when they're texting. We hear the voiceovers of the other characters because sometimes it's hard to read those on screen. Well, this time, sometimes they did it. Sometimes they didn't. Sometimes the character would like type out loud with like speaking what they were texting. But all or nothing, people, and preferably all. Sometimes
wonder,
those text boxes were hard to read.
does that fall on the director?
I think that's got to be editing.
Okay. Well, I wonder, and we don't dig that deep into like who edits these movies, but since we have a different director and a different writer, I wonder if there's a different editing team as well.
Yeah, you're right. It has to be some sort of collaboration because the editor is not just like making those choices. The director would have to be like, let's record a voiceover for this scene. And then the editor puts it together. Yeah, good question.
My two did you see that's one of them is kind of a question. And it goes to the timeline. Now, I have watched all these movies kind of like back to back. I may be mistaken, but I swear they have Jenna trying on a wedding dress in movie 2. Maybe it's the Kiki movie that I'm getting it confused with. I know she's in the wedding dress in the Kiki movie in the 4th movie, but was she ever in a dress in the 2nd movie?
I don't recall her trying on a wedding dress in the second movie.
Then that's probably my own personal. Did you see that? Like, when do you get it together? And my other did you see that? And then we can finish yours, which there was a really funny scene between characters Josh and Andrew. I enjoy their banter a lot. I think they're very funny, and I can't remember what the particular line is, and they're kind of ribbing each other, but Andrew winks at Josh, and I just laughed out loud. I thought it was so funny. Like, I was like, oh, these guys get along.
Yeah, they had good banter.
Yeah.
They had a good vibe.
Give me a movie with them. Give me a movie with the 4 of them. You know,
Yeah.
Stephanie Bennett and Jake Epstein and Jenna, Ashley Newbro. Anyway, you know what I mean. Okay. Tell me the rest of your Did You See That?
They're just little. One, the band is playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, which made me laugh. They play it like multiple times. I was like, do we know anything else? And the green screen proposal locations, woof.
Oh, terrible. Yes. Yes.
When
Agree.
they're visiting those. That's all. What'd you rate this movie?
I gave it 3 stars.
Wow. I mean, I gave it 2.5.
Oh. Okay, wait. I need to go back and see what I gave Sherry. Sherry?
I think
Hold on.
I gave Sherry 2.
I gave Sherry 2 stars. Yeah.
What did I give Jenna? Jenna, I gave 3.5.
I gave Jenna 3.5 too. So I don't hate my 3.0. Your 2 point whatever is
Mean, low,
no
rough.
surprising. That's all.
Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark, a Bramble Jam podcast. If you love this podcast, we love your 5-star ratings and reviews. You know, I set that goal of 200 ratings on Apple Podcasts. Will you be the person who gets us there? If you leave a written review, you just might hear it read on a future episode of this podcast. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.